Here's the question. Who here plays any number of shmups or shoot 'em ups? And then within that number, how many have heard of this legacy of a franchise here, let alone the game here? Keywords: R-Type Dimensions 3, Inin Games, Nintendo because it's available on both Switches. You know, it's funny how that feels more like the original R-Type there with the blast off and strike the evil Bido Empire. But this is R-Type Dimensions 3. And I have PressEngine and PR Hound to thank for allowing me to share this with you. And it's funny for a couple of reasons. I've actually shown a number of Inin games in the past couple of years, come to think. And the only reason I know of R-Type as a whole is because Nick Arcade had Super R-Type, a Super Nintendo port of R-Type 2, as a video challenge where a player could play it for 30 seconds trying to get a high score or a target score, so to really up their points. And there's been, technically in my mind, only one R-Type Dimensions. I would dare say R-Type Dimensions EX is more of an update to R-Type Dimensions. The main difference between them being a soundtrack, but this is more of a remake of R-Type 3, the Third Lightning. And I think what I want to do is go through the original graphics, then the redone graphics in the first stage. Last I checked, I've been able to do the first stage when I was younger. We should probably see how this plays. This is the final battle, but then there have been so many R-Types, including an R-Type Final 3, which itself is an update of R-Type Final 2. All still about the Bido Empire. So that's how it looks now in the 3D dimensions. Ships, meter, score, enemy, power up, force device, and that's going to be very vital. And I can only get myself to, for the sake of showing how this is, maybe classic mode with the classic pixels. But if things go wrong in the 3D, I can show infinite mode to show how forgiving it is. Limited number of lives and ships in classic mode. Precision, timing, and mastering enemy patterns, but with infinite play, unlimited ships for endless gameplay, but no scores to qualify for the leaderboard, nor trophies or achievements. Oh boy. For me, who digs trophies, that would be an issue. That said, I don't know that I would be willing to push myself that hard like I would Souls-likes. But I still want to show you the game. Speed unit, the first 5 increase speed. Then pursuit unit is missiles. Why do they call it pursuit instead of just missile unit? Then lasers, red, blue, and yellow laser types, and then pit units. The force is a major thing here. Round, shadow, or cyclone to fire force lasers. You need 2 laser units to activate a force laser. And you can fire forwards or backwards, depending on where you attach the force. Round fires in 5 directions. Shadow shoots in 3. Cyclone becomes a shield, destroying anything it hits. The round force is what I remember being a thing in the original R-Type. The weakest of them with chain, mirror, and sweep lasers. Circular pattern or 3 directions, even after obstacles, or over and around obstacles, tracking enemies. And the Shadow Force doesn't rely on Bido technology with reverse, shadow, and strafe lasers. Then a special unit appears that automatically targets enemies. So reverse fires beams behind to surprise enemies from the rear. Shadow laser with blue laser units brings up an additional one while continuing firing from the R90. Then strafe laser follows terrain and eliminates enemies. Then the Cyclone Force with Pierce, Wave, and Capsule is a powerful weapon when attached. Then detach, it changes shape and acts as a shield. So Pierce Laser can go through obstacles, but as it goes further out, its potency drops. Wave Laser hits an object and expands into a ring to eliminate any enemies in its path. Capsule Laser deploys a capsule laser, I should say. So that would probably stay in place. Then there are special weapons with the weapon meter for the superpower beam or the hyperdrive beam. 2 stages with the superpower beam. And it can be strong and strong. But hyperdrive, only available when both stages are fully charged. Then there's a short cooldown before you can charge again. Have to switch to hyper mode before charging the hyperdrive beam. I don't know anything about hyper mode, come to think. And you know, I almost think the way the ships, the beam, and the score are, back in the original, they were in the bottom of the screen. I'll have to look at that later. But I don't know enough about hyper mode. But there's such a thing as crazy mode and toggling 3D. Force, rapid fire, charge shot, 2D, 3D mode, scan lines, and switch beam mode. I think that's what I'm looking for regular beam and hyper beam. I think we have what we need to see about this here. But the menu will only show up once all that finishes. For the sake of trying it out and showing you differences, we're going classic mode. We're going normal difficulty. With 2D graphics and original resolution. And this would not be a thing for the 2D mode. And so we're choosing levels instead of going straight in? Or do we go straight in and then as we unlock them, we can play and start from somewhere like level 2? Journeying through the galaxy seeking enemies and avoid space junk. Oh, right, I forgot. We do have to pick our force type. Listen to that classic SNES music there. This didn't get an arcade version like the first 2. We're going with round force here for ace pilot use, it says. I'm pretending to be an ace pilot right now. So let's go then. Man. Oh, it's down at the bottom there. Okay. This is definitely like the old days. And R1 does get rid of those scan lines. Here comes the force. Did I forget about this already? I don't know if I want the scan lines. But I better keep my eyes on this. I like it without the scan lines myself. I want to avoid all that. And now, kind of want to have that go backwards. This is what the force does for you. Then you can actually have it fire independently. Yeah, I would not have remembered that at all. Is that actually a checkpoint there? That was definitely a surprise. So it's calling for memorization of things. Now that would definitely get in the way. Now, I deserved that. Yeah, this can get bad fast. Here. I was tapping the wrong button. Instead of holding circle for rapid fire, I was tapping X because I wanted to charge a beam up. Oh, there's a trophy there, recycling. For destroying 45 trash parts. Come to think, what trophies are there? Because there's a number of them. The stages without dying. All without dying. Including the subtitle of the game, R-Type 3, the third lightning. Then advanced mode. Yeah, no, this is too much for me. 0.6% of players. How many players are there, though? The 5 enemies with a wave shot. Then defeat a boss with a hyper mode charge shot. We complete a stage without force. Don't force it. Beat a level without auto fire. The maximum speed up items when you finish a stage. 100 enemies in a single stage without dying, then so many points. 10,000 aliens killed is definitely over 9,000. Large green alien turrets. So for the first 3 levels, there are trophy-specific challenges. Complete a run with Round Force, Shadow Force, and Cyclone Force. I couldn't feel like I could do anything about that. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. So I'll break 2 of those. But at least I know, in general, I can stay in the middle. Yeah, that shot was actually curving is what happened. If I destroyed them, then I could stay in the middle. Now they go away. I almost feel like I should be firing both sides here. But that won't fire. Need that in front. Oh, it didn't charge all the way. That only hit 1. You know, that's what I was missing, speed. I want to get to the boss. Then we can have a thing here. Now it's in a fully evolved form. Finally happened. Then we have something to protect me from the top. So where's the boss? There. The shots are coming in 3D. Forget about that. I almost think it ain't ready to fire at yet. No. Not until now. Close to it. There was some 3D stuff going on there. I don't have many opportunities until now, do I? Whoa! What the hell was that? That was a forgiving checkpoint. So we gotta avoid a whole lot of shots before we have a chance to come in with our own. Then I didn't have the force to protect me. This is bad challenge. It ain't the game's fault, it's my fault. But I don't want to go on until I finish this. There's definite skill issue on my end. I'm man enough to say it. And I also need to point out that the force tends to be on the opposite side of you where it can be helped. Gotta avoid all that. Then I gotta wait for it to get a couple of shots from back there. Then I can line up. That was not the time. I wish it was, but it wasn't. But soon it will be. Whoa. I would not know enough about that. Should I have the force in front of me? But yeah, this is definitely a skill issue. I can admit it. Also, not having a fully evolved force. And yet, I'm sure I'll just be doing it with one level of force. But then I probably could avoid it from below, because I got a shield above, and then I'll have the force if it decides to come at me from the right. That said, it ain't a big force. Now this is probably good a time as any to get a hyper beam. Not a hyper beam yet. Don't do it again. Oh! If I had known that, I would have done that. Catapult dimension, though, that stage 1 is done, or level 1. So it does take us straight to level 2. That's what I wanted to think, anyway. That acid's melting that away. I don't think I want to go any further, actually. Not with all that here. Now we're going infinite. Oh, right. I can't do the hyper mode boss defeat trophy because of that. I'll deal, because I want to show you what to expect with R-Type Dimensions 3. Now enhanced. Then we can have the crazy camera if we so choose. We're not going to acid creatures, we're only doing catapult dimension. And I'll use one of the other forces, and that was different looking in the original. So let's get the... I'm honestly thinking the Shadow Force. Now you'll see how it is when it's more forgiving. More 3D-like. L3 does change the angle. And it sure does look different already. But here's how it normally is when it's all laid out to the side. So this is the Shadow Force, and it's shooting backwards. What's with the bubble, though? Oh, it's the additional unit. Yeah, the bubble's shooting out as well. You know, I think it was more of that than the laser. I didn't get the beam out. I don't think it really hit. And then that was definitely bad time. We can have that fire backwards. Why ain't it doing enough, though? You know, I had to tell myself that's what was gonna happen. But everything looks so different when rendered in 3D, doesn't it? Then we got two bubbles there now. Shadow Force is fully evolved. It takes on different forms depending on how things go. Oh, right. Triangle. You can make it all 2D. So you have that choice of transition. Whatever you feel like. But I feel like the music should be changeable too. Let me check this. Yeah, let's change that to rearranged. Now it got more rockin' music here. I wonder why that didn't change yet. It didn't seem like an option in the settings, the pre-game settings. So now you're hearing the stage 1 or level 1 theme in a more rockin' style. So it makes it feel like a remade game, doesn't it? Not a different one per se, but remade for sure. Right now I'm fine. Had to get rid of that and I just was able to move before getting crushed. There went all of that too. Now let me go ahead and charge this up. Get that wrecked. Yeah, it definitely feels different when you've got all the modern amenities on it. I don't think I like how the laser shots look in this though. But there's plenty that's good though. Shiny, chromy, but it still feels the same. What a guitar. Now we're going this way. And I forget immediately what's happening here. I'm forgetting and I need to be on my toes. Now there's ripples on those. Glad they both got wrecked. And I forget that I have the shots in front of me, or the force in front of me to protect me from the shots. But it's different when they're coming at me from both sides. No more of that. Now I'm gonna go with this here. But then I haven't messed with the yellow. It goes seeking. It's all right there. But this time I've gone through it so far, so good. Then this happens. Let me still avoid these. Colors don't change as much in the 3D. They just get closer and closer. Then here it comes back. Then I'll get the hyper mode after we get one of these in on it. Okay. I don't get the trophy because I'm doing it in infinite mode, but I did manage to do it without dying, stage 1. So there's that. Maybe I'll wait for the heat to die down. Okay. Now it's all calm and cool and collected. But this is very alien. Like, seriously alien. I gotta be careful about so much. When do I want to fire behind me? When do I want to go to what's in front of me? How do I want to attack the things? When do I want to charge up a laser? As far as I can think, the only thing I'm missing here now is speed, but aside from that, this is the best. Oh no, we didn't have the pursuit unit there. Now we have missiles to go against everything here. But now it's pretty well armed. Okay. Feels like we gotta fly slight. And that can be dangerous. Especially when the lasers don't fire backwards. Then we've got the pods or whatever they are up there. And there's something up there coming at us. There's a lot of danger here. And I can't be 100% about how protected I am, even though I've got a triangular shield effect in place. It's protecting me from the acid above, which is totally important to shield from. I don't think I'm gonna grab that yellow laser. Can't grab the speed, though. That's looking like boss time here. That's looking like big old sperm there. I can't tell. Oh, I see what it is. It's the eyeball. I gotta shoot the eyeball through the various holes. I can't believe I did that in one life. I was playing by the seat of my pants. But it won't count because it's infinite mode. Let me stop here because it's infinite mode anyway. At the very least, you have continues and checkpoints in classic mode. But this should be a good idea of what to expect from R-Type Dimensions 3. And you gotta remember, this is a legacy horizontal shoot-'em-up franchise. And maybe I made the second stage look easy and I only put on infinite mode to make you think I was gonna struggle. But no, this is definitely a very challenging game, nay, franchise. If you're up for it, though, you should get your hands on this and R-Type Dimensions EX. You'll have the first 3 R-Type games with those alone. And there is R-Type 3 or R-Type Final 3 Type Delta or something like that. What is the name of that latest regular R-Type game? Because there's also R-Type Cosmos, which I believe is a compilation of Tactics 1 and 2. I'm going to look up a couple of things real quick, just because there's a lot of R-Type, actually. Quite a bit of R-Type, and R-Type has seen something of a renaissance in the last few years. The franchise is somehow still going. So what do we have here in terms of later games? We have the Dimensions and EX. We have R-Type Dimensions 3. But I need a list of the games and compilations as well. That ain't telling me nothing. Does that mean that it's compilation? We have R-Type Tactics 1 and 2 Cosmos. So that's a re-release of 2 R-Type Tactics games. But then what do we have here? Where's the R-Type Final 3 Evolved? That's what it is. R-Type Final 3 Evolved. So that's the latest of the regular horizontal shoot-'em-up games compared to the tactical Tactics by name. But yeah, R-Type is actually still going strong, if you can believe it. And I have PressEngine and PR Hound to thank for allowing me to share this with you. But like I said, this is not the only Inin game, or rather, the only game from Inin Games I've been allowed to share with you all through various means. So take a look at one of these here and see how you might feel about it. And I want to think it's not nearly as challenging as this, if that's an issue.